Jonathan Dean, and I work for the South Downs National Park Authority. Thank you to the festival for inviting me along to speak today. This presentation is all about how to become a national park champion, and I'm going to share a few ideas with you about how you can do exactly that. By becoming a national park champion, you are helping to keep the national park a special place, making sure that we can enjoy living, working and playing here, not just now, but for generations to come. I'll talk about how to be a champion for pollinators, trees, water and wildlife, and as a micro-volunteer. But before all that, I want to tell you a bit about national parks. There are 15 national parks in the UK. They are our most iconic landscapes. They were created after the government's National Parks and Access to the Countryside Act in 1949, which recognised the need to improve public rights of way and the right to roam over open land. Today, national parks cover approximately 9% of the land in England, Wales and Scotland. And in the South Downs National Park, there are 3,300 kilometres of rights of way that crisscross between small pockets of open access land where you can roam freely. You might be wondering, why does a national park need champions? Well, the landscape and nature gives us so much and helps us understand our history. And as we get to use and enjoy it, it's important that we give something back. The rocks beneath our feet provide drinking water, trees clean our air, and pollinating insects like bees help put food on our plates. The scenery in national parks is generally breathtaking. When you're in a national park, you'll notice more greenery, trees and hills, and less grey concrete buildings and roads. You'll probably feel more connected to nature, which often brings a wonderful sense of calm. If you were to follow the South Downs Way National Trail and the footpaths and bridleways that surround it, you're on tracks that have been created and used by humans for thousands of years. Above Eastbourne, on the way to Beachy Head, you might be treading the line forged by a prehistoric shepherd, driving their sheep from one village to the next. Or maybe you're puffing your way up a track where Iron Age farmers once carried crops into hill forts for storage and protection 3,000 years ago. The national park today is protected through the work of the National Park Authority, and our job is to look after its natural beauty, wildlife and history, to help the public enjoy its special qualities and to foster the well-being of the communities who live here. All of our work is done in partnership with champions, which could mean working with landowners, councils, businesses, charities, schools, families, or individuals. There is so much to love about our national park. Let's see what else is worth looking after. You might have spotted a bee orchid in that video, a wildflower which looks a bit like a bee. Well, 80% of pollination is carried out by bees, which includes the pollination of valuable food crops. However, around half of the UK's 27 bumblebee species are in decline. Our pollinators need champions to give a helping hand. Schools can make a difference by educating future generations on how to make practical changes in the way we manage the land in urban and rural areas. Although originally extensive, chalk grassland now covers just 5,600 hectares of the national park, which is only 4% of its total area. During World War II, many of the chalk grassland sites in the South Downs were ploughed up and have remained under cultivation since. More recent intensification of farming methods has contributed to the fragmentation of this important habitat, making it harder for key pollinator species, such as bees and the Adonis blue butterfly, to thrive and move around our countryside. This is bad news for everyone, as pollinators are not only an important part of the food chain, they are vital to the growing of most of the food we eat. But all is not lost. Working with organisations across the Downs, we're looking to provide greater connectivity by creating pollinator-friendly habitats within schools and care farms, providing important stops for pollinators as they move between sites. We want to work with schools within the national park to help them assess what they have for pollinators already, think about what they might do to raise awareness of what pollinators need, and to make changes in their school grounds and local community spaces for pollinators. To do this, we've partnered with Learning Through Landscapes and Plant Life to learn from their award-winning pollination project and help us to improve school grounds for pollinators across the national park. So you can find out more information about how your school can be a champion for pollinators online. Just search for Beeline's Schools Competition. There are workshops running over the next few weeks to help you understand more about getting involved. Now, most of the footage in that clip was taken from the Eastern Downs, which are open, rolling, sheep graze hills. But as we travel west through the park, the landscape becomes distinctly more wooded as we reach the Central Downs above Chichester. The South Downs has more woodland than any other national park in England or Wales. Trees are incredible and form a vital part of our precious South Downs landscape. They give us clean air to breathe, enhance natural beauty, support wildlife, and are vital for tackling climate change. But our treescape is changing because of the impact of pests and diseases. Pests and diseases like ash dieback and Dutch elm disease are growing concerns and threaten a significant number of trees nationally, including in the South Downs National Park. Trees for the Downs is an exciting project looking to plant 5,000 trees in community spaces, along roads and popular walking routes. Trees for the Downs will be planting iconic species, including black poplar, oak, and disease-resistant elms pioneered by Hillier. Our focus will be on planting trees in places where people can connect with them and form part of everyday life, such as on the walk to school and in our communities. This initiative will create a lasting legacy, benefiting communities as they watch these new trees grow and flourish in the years ahead. We are still fundraising for this project, but there are already small projects planned near New Haven and across Ada and Worthing. We're still looking for more sites to plant trees, especially sites which have lost significant numbers of ash or elm trees. To be a champion for trees, you could start thinking about places near your home, school, or even in your school that might need some new trees. Applications will open next spring, and trees will be ready for planting next winter. If you or your school wants to get involved, you can find more information online. Just search for Trees for the Downs. Now, from trees above the ground to the rocks beneath the soil and the water within it, as with many of our natural resources, our groundwater is under threat from population pressures and as a side effect of modern farming and lifestyles. The Aquifer Partnership is a project taking action to address the threat and ensure our groundwater remains a sustainable resource for the future. From the River Ada in the west to the River Ouse in the east and up to the edge of the Downs, the land is shaped by a tremendous block of chalk. This chalk holds water like a sponge in an aquifer. This is the water that makes the journey to your home, ready at the turn of a tap to quench a thirst, cook a meal, wash a muddy kit, or fill a paddling pool. It's a vital natural resource. But like so many others, this natural resource is under threat. Pollution is a problem, not just here, but for aquifers, rivers, lakes, and oceans the world over. A growing population increases the pressure on our shared water, but the Aquifer Partnership is bringing people together to protect our aquifer. In the towns, we're making rainscapes to catch pollution and hold back floodwaters. We're showing where that drain leads so we can make sure we keep waste out of the system. We can't protect what we do not know, so we also champion the aquifer. promoting knowledge and understanding whenever and wherever we can. Schools are joining us to manage water better for the future, bringing students on a journey of discovery along the way. Our classroom sessions bring groundwater to life with unique and fun activities, whether that's making an edible aquifer, sketching out a stigobite, or creating a wearable water cycle. We can tailor sessions for your school or youth group to become an Aquada ambassador and champion for water with us. So you can find out more information about how your school can be a champion for water online. Just search for the Aquifer Partnership or wearetap.org.uk. Back above ground now and right across the national park, our rare chalk grassland, ancient woodland and heathland habitats support an incredible range of mammals, birds, fish, invertebrate and plant species. Some are among the rarest animals in Britain, and that's why it's so important we all strive to protect these awe-inspiring species, the result of millions of years of evolutionary fine-tuning. Because without our collective efforts to give nature the space and protection to flourish, these natural works of art could be lost forever. We are encouraging families to learn more about our incredible species and do their bit to care for them by taking part in our Wild Winter Family John Muir Award. Families can join the award programme by subscribing to the Wild Winter newsletters, which will land in inboxes from the 23rd of November through to the 10th of January. The newsletters will be full of nature-based activities that can be done either at home or outside. They will include what to look out for on wild winter walks, things you can do to help bugs, birds and beasts through the colder months, and they will also include nature-based midwinter celebration craft ideas along with sustainable Christmas tips. You can use the newsletters as inspiration for family fun nature-based activities, or you can put them together to achieve your John Muir Award. The Family John Muir Award encourages people to connect with, enjoy and care for wild places. It is an environmental award scheme for people of all backgrounds. It's non-competitive, it's inclusive and accessible. And to achieve a family award, all you need to do is 25 hours or more of activities which will help you to discover, explore and do something to care for a wild place, and then share your experience with others. There will be activity ideas in the newsletters for all ages and abilities. Along the way, you will also discover more about John Muir and other conservationists, as well as either visiting or virtually exploring the South Downs National Park. Perhaps you'll end up constructing some swift boxes like our ranger Chloe did in her garden this summer. You can find more information about our Wild Winter Family John Muir Award online by searching for Wild Winter Family John Muir Award. And finally, I've saved the best for last. This is without a doubt the easiest way to become a national park champion. Anyone can do it and it only takes a few minutes. It's micro-volunteering. Micro-volunteering gives everyone the opportunity to make a difference in the South Downs. It's the best way for people who are looking to help in short, convenient, bite-sized chunks. Volunteers can make a massive difference to help preserve landscapes, wildlife and cultural heritage in the South Downs National Park. There are so many easy, on-the-go activities you can do to help care for your national park, either from your phone or when you're out and about. Here are just a few ideas. If you want to find out more information about micro-volunteering, then search online for South Downs micro-volunteering. Before I wrap up, I'll give you a few minutes to write any questions that you might have from the presentation so far. So I'll take a couple of minutes, just pause while any questions come in, and then I'll get around to trying to answer as many of those as I can in the last few minutes of this presentation. Okay, so a few questions have come in, which is great. There's a question about using what 3 words to identify certain rural areas that don't have a postcode. The What 3 Words app works across the whole of the UK, the world, I think. So you could be anywhere in the national park and the What 3 Words app will work. So I don't know whether that's, I'm not quite sure I understand that question. In terms of identifying rural areas, the way it works is that you are in a rural area and then you can use the app to identify and locate yourself quickly and easily if there was an emergency, and be able to communicate that to other people using the 3 words. Someone's asked a question about what trees did we have on the downs before agriculture. We would have had across the downs, there would have been the same mix of native trees that would have existed across the whole of the UK. So there'd have been a whole variety of species across the downs. But as humans began to settle, our first settlers thousands of years ago, they cleared trees for various reasons to help capture animals, to have a go at growing crops. So we have altered the treescape for thousands of years now, but we are, especially through this project, Trees for the Downs, looking to address some of the problems caused by the pests and diseases that are specifically affecting ash trees and elm trees. And we're looking to restore elm trees with these disease-resistant elms, and looking to restore our treescape overall. Someone's asked, what should we be doing on the downs to look after the aquifer? So the Aquifer Partnership is a collective of organisations that's working with landowners and farmers, people at a whole host of levels to look after the aquifer. What we're asking here today is for schools to get involved, to take part in the school action projects, which is educating and learning about the aquifer, raising awareness of it. And in some schools that might lead to the construction of rain gardens and sustainable urban drainage systems within their school grounds. Another question about litter picks and collaborating on events. That sounds fabulous. Yeah, please do get in touch with us. If you email info@southdowns.gov.uk, let us know what you're up to. That will go through to our public events team, who might be able to work with you on some potential events for the future, which would be fab. Okay, I think that seems to be the last of the questions coming through. So thanks very much for tuning in today. and for your interest in becoming a National Park champion.